What if I told you there are animals that can survive nuclear radiation, regenerate entire brains, see 16 colors humans can't even imagine, and literally freeze solid without dying? Not in comic books or sci-fi movies, in your backyard, in the ocean, in the desert right now. Evolution spent billions of years beta testing superpowers that make Marvel look unimaginative. These aren't myths or exaggerations. These are documented, scientifically verified abilities that biology casually handed out to creatures we barely notice. Because if nature teaches us anything, it's that reality doesn't need CGI to be absolutely insane. Let that sink in. Number 1. Tardigrades can survive literally anything. Tardigrades, microscopic water bears, are biology's ultimate indestructible tank. They survive temperatures from near absolute zero, minus 458 degrees F, to 300 degrees F. They've been frozen for decades and revived. They've been sent to space, exposed to solar radiation and vacuum, and lived. They can withstand pressure 6 times deeper than the deepest ocean trench. When conditions get bad, they enter cryptobiosis, essentially shutting down all metabolic processes and losing 99% of their water content. In this state, they can survive for years without food or water. Scientists have revived tardigrades frozen in Antarctic moss for over 30 years. They're found everywhere: your roof, your lawn, Antarctic ice. These microscopic extremophiles laugh at conditions that would instantly kill humans. Evolution gave them a cheat code for immortality. They're Earth's backup plan if everything else dies. Number 2. Mantis shrimp punch with the force of a bullet. Mantis shrimp have club-like appendages that strike at 50 mph, so fast the water around them boils, cavitation bubbles. The impact generates 1,500 newtons of force, equivalent to a .22 caliber bullet. The strike is so powerful it creates a secondary shockwave that can kill prey even if the first hit misses. They've been known to shatter aquarium glass. They can break human fingers. Their clubs are made of extremely tough biological material that inspires armor design. And their vision. They have 16 color receptors, humans have 3, allowing them to see ultraviolet, infrared, and polarized light. They process visual information faster than any known animal. They're basically underwater assassins with superpowered vision and bullet-speed punches. Evolution designed the perfect tiny murder machine and made it rainbow-colored. Number 3. Axolotls regenerate entire body parts perfectly. Axolotls, Mexican salamanders, can regenerate almost any body part. Limbs, tail, spinal cord, heart, eyes, and even portions of their brain, all without scarring. If you cut off a leg, they'll grow a perfect replacement with bones, muscles, nerves, and blood vessels in proper positions. They can do this multiple times. The regenerated tissue is functionally identical to the original. Scientists studying them have discovered the cellular mechanisms involve dedifferentiation, specialized cells reverting to stem cell states and rebuilding structures from scratch. Humans have the genes for this, but they're turned off evolutionarily. Axolotls kept them active. They're living proof that perfect regeneration is biologically possible in vertebrates. We're studying them hoping to unlock regenerative medicine for humans. These adorable smiling salamanders are basically Wolverine from X-Men but cuter and pink. Number 4. Immortal jellyfish can reverse aging. Turritopsis doanea, the immortal jellyfish, can revert its cells back to their earliest form and restart its life cycle when stressed, injured, or aging. Adult jellyfish can transform back into polyps' juvenile stage through cellular transdifferentiation, converting one cell type to another. They can repeat this process indefinitely, theoretically living forever unless eaten or killed by disease. It's the only known animal that can completely reverse its aging process. Scientists are studying the genetic mechanisms hoping to understand cellular rejuvenation. The jellyfish essentially hits a biological reset button whenever mortality threatens. They're biologically immortal, barring predation or disease. They don't die of old age. Evolution invented a real-life respawn system. The only catch is they're tiny, transparent, and spend eternity as jellyfish. Biological immortality exists. It's just not very exciting. Number 5. Pistol shrimp create underwater explosions. Pistol shrimp have one oversized claw that snaps shut so fast it creates a cavitation bubble. When the bubble collapses, it reaches temperatures of 4,000 degrees C, nearly as hot as the sun's surface, emits a flash of light sonoluminescence, and produces a shockwave of 218 decibels, louder than a gunshot. This sonic blast stuns or kills prey. The entire process happens in less than a millisecond. They use this superpower for hunting and communication. In the ocean, pistol shrimp colonies create so much noise they interfere with submarine sonar. Millions of these tiny shrimp snapping collectively create a constant crackling background noise in coastal waters. They're basically underwater flashbang grenades that regenerate instantly. Evolution looked at a shrimp and said, what if it could create miniature superheated plasma? Nature approved. Loudest animal relative to body size, creating fusion-level temperatures to catch dinner. Number 6. Electric eels generate 860 volts. Electric eels can generate up to 860 volts of electricity, enough to stun an adult human or kill smaller animals. They have specialized cells called electrocytes that work like biological batteries, stacked in series to amplify voltage. They can discharge multiple times in quick succession. They use electricity for navigation, like sonar, communication, and hunting defense. They've been known to leap out of water to attack threats, pressing their electric organs against the target for maximum effect. A full discharge can cause cardiac arrest in humans. They're found in South American rivers, often in murky water where their electrical sense gives them a massive advantage. The electric eel isn't even a true eel. It's a type of knife fish that evolved biological electrogenesis independently. It's a living battery that can weaponize its charge. Evolution's answer to what if fish had tasers? Absolute nightmare fuel for anyone swimming in the Amazon. Number 7. Lyrebirds perfectly mimic any sound. Lyrebirds from Australia have the most sophisticated vocal mimicry in the animal kingdom. They don't just copy bird calls, they perfectly replicate any sound they hear. Chainsaws, camera shutters, car engines, crying babies, barking dogs, camera flashes, and even human voices. Their syrinx, vocal organ, is incredibly complex, allowing them to reproduce sounds with remarkable accuracy. Males use this ability in elaborate courtship displays, showcasing their acoustic repertoire. In forests near human activity, lyrebirds incorporate industrial and electronic sounds into their songs. Researchers have recorded them mimicking construction equipment and emergency vehicle sirens with perfect pitch and rhythm. They can even layer multiple sounds simultaneously. It's not mindless repetition. They're composing acoustic performances using borrowed sounds. Nature's ultimate remix artist. They're basically living sound effect libraries that wander around Australian forests trolling ecologists. Number 8. Peregrine falcons dive at 240 mph. Peregrine falcons are the fastest animals on Earth, reaching speeds over 240 mph during hunting dive stoops. At these speeds, they strike prey midair with closed talons, delivering impacts that instantly kill. The force of collision can be over 50 times their body weight. Their bodies are specially adapted, streamlined shape, specialized respiratory systems to breathe at high speeds, nictitating membranes to protect eyes, and bony tubercles in nostrils to redirect airflow so they don't rupture their lungs. They have incredible vision, detecting prey from over 1 mile away and tracking fast-moving targets during high-speed dives. Their hunting success rate is around 50%, far higher than most predators. They live on every continent except Antarctica and have adapted to urban environments, nesting on skyscrapers and hunting city pigeons. Evolution built a biological fighter jet that hunts by aerial assassination. Supersonic bird-based death from above. Number 9. Octopuses edit their own RNA. Most animals are limited by their DNA, But octopuses, and some other cephalopods, extensively edit their RNA, the messenger molecule between DNA and proteins. This allows them to rapidly adapt proteins without waiting for genetic mutations. They can modify neural proteins to function in different temperatures, essentially reprogramming their nervous systems on the fly. This might explain their incredible intelligence and adaptability despite having short lifespans. The trade-off is slower evolution. They sacrifice long-term genetic adaptation for short-term flexibility. They have 9 brains, 1 central, 8 in their arms, 3 hearts, and blue copper-based blood. They can change color and texture in milliseconds, solve complex puzzles, use tools, and squeeze through impossibly small spaces. They're alien intelligence that evolved on Earth. RNA editing is their secret weapon for being impossibly adaptable. They're soft-bodied, shape-shifting supergeniuses with built-in genetic editing capabilities. Nature's mad science experiment. Number 10. Bombardier beetles spray boiling acid. Bombardier beetles store 2 harmless chemicals in separate compartments in their abdomen. When threatened, they mix these chemicals in a reaction chamber with enzymes, creating an explosive reaction that heats the mixture to 100 degrees C, 212 degrees F, and sprays it with an audible pop. They can aim the spray accurately in nearly any direction, including forward over their back. The hot, toxic, irritating benzoquinone spray can deter predators much larger than themselves. They can fire 501,000 pulses per second, creating a machine gun-like effect. The chemicals would explode if mixed improperly, but the beetle's anatomy manages the reaction perfectly. Engineers have studied their design for applications in propulsion systems and fuel injection. It's biological rocketry meets chemical warfare. Evolution gave a beetle an explosive defense mechanism that would violate the Geneva Convention if used by humans. Boiling acid jetpack insect. Number 11. Archerfish spit water with sniper accuracy. Archerfish can shoot jets of water up to 10 feet with incredible accuracy to knock insects off branches into the water. They account for light refraction at the water's surface, aiming not at where the prey appears, but where it actually is. They adjust for distance, angle, and target size. Young archerfish learn by watching adults and improve with practice. They can hit moving targets and even predict where a falling insect will land, positioning themselves to catch it. The water jet is formed by specialized mouth anatomy and powerful gill contractions. They hunt in groups and use complex social hierarchies to determine who gets the prey. They're basically underwater marksmen with biological water guns and physics degrees. Evolution designed a fish that understands refraction better than most humans. Aquatic snipers with ballistic calculation skills. Number 12. Hummingbirds hover and fly backwards. Hummingbirds are the only birds that can hover in place and fly backwards, forwards, up, down, and sideways with equal ease. Their wings beat 50-80 times per second, rotating nearly 180 degrees to generate lift on both forward and backward strokes. They can fly upside down. Their heart rate reaches 1,260 beats per minute during flight. They consume twice their body weight in nectar daily, visiting 1,000 plus flowers. Their metabolism is so fast they enter torpor, near hibernation, at night to avoid starving to death while sleeping. They have the highest metabolic rate per unit weight of any vertebrate. They can see ultraviolet light and perceive time faster than humans. What looks fast to us is slow motion to them. They're biological drones powered by sugar water, operating at the edge of physical possibility. Evolution pushed bird physiology to its absolute limit. They're living at maximum speed constantly or dying. Number 13. Platypuses detect electric fields. The platypus, already bizarre enough with its duckbill, beaver tail, and venomous spurs, can detect electric fields generated by muscle contractions in prey. Electroreceptors in its bill detect the weak electrical signals produced by shrimp and other prey hiding in muddy river bottoms. This allows hunting in complete darkness or murky water with eyes and ears closed. They sweep their heads side to side, triangulating electrical signals to pinpoint prey location. It's similar to sharks' electroreception, but in a mammal, which is evolutionarily unusual. Combined with mechanoreceptors detecting water movement, platypuses have a multimodal sensory system perfectly adapted for underwater hunting. They're one of only two mammals that lay eggs, the other being echidnas. Males have venomous ankle spurs that cause excruciating pain in humans. They're a biological mashup that shouldn't exist but dominates its ecological niche. Nature's Frankenanimal with built-in prey radar. Number 14. Wood frogs freeze solid and survive. Wood frogs in Alaska and Canada survive winter by literally freezing solid. Up to 70% of their body water turns to ice. Their heart stops. They stop breathing. They're clinically dead by most definitions. But specialized proteins and high glucose concentrations in their cells prevent ice crystals from rupturing cell membranes. When spring comes, they thaw from the inside out and hop away completely fine within hours. They can survive multiple freeze-thaw cycles. This cryopreservation happens naturally without any external intervention. Scientists studying them hope to understand how to preserve human organs for transplant using similar mechanisms. The frogs essentially die and resurrect every winter. They're nature's cryogenic experiment that actually works. Biological antifreeze plus controlled freezing equals functional immortality through winter. Frozen frog sickles that reanimate when defrosted. Science fiction survival method that happens in your backyard every winter. Number 15. Hagfish produce gallons of slime instantly. Hagfish are eel-like fish that, when threatened, produce massive amounts of slime from glands along their body. A single hagfish can fill a 5-gallon bucket with slime in seconds. The slime is made of mucus and protein threads that expand 10,000 times in volume when released into water, clogging predators' gills and mouths. The threads are remarkably strong. Scientists are studying them for applications in bulletproof materials. Hagfish can tie themselves in knots to scrape off their own slime or to generate leverage when eating. They're also scavengers that burrow into dead whale carcasses and eat from the inside out. They have a skull but no jaw and no true vertebrae. They're living fossils essentially unchanged for 300 million years. Their slime defense is so effective that predators rarely try twice. Evolution's answer to, what if a fish was made of snot and nightmares? Marine biologists' least favorite animal to handle. Number 16. Cuttlefish change color and texture in milliseconds. Cuttlefish are masters of camouflage, changing color, pattern, and skin texture in under a second. They have millions of chromatophores, color cells, iridophores, reflective cells, and leucophores, white cells, controlled directly by their brain. They can create moving patterns across their skin, hypnotizing prey or communicating with others. Here's the weird part. Cuttlefish are colorblind. They see the world in black and white, but can perfectly match colors they can't perceive by detecting wavelengths with their skin. They can also create 3D texture changes, smooth skin becoming spiky or bumpy instantly. Males can display different patterns on different sides of their body simultaneously, showing aggressive displays to rivals on one side while showing courtship colors to females on the other. They're biological displays with processing power that would make a computer jealous. Underwater shape-shifting chameleons on steroids, running graphics processing on wetware. Number 17. Naked mole rats don't age and rarely get cancer. Naked mole rats live 30+ years, extraordinary for their size, show minimal signs of aging, and have incredibly low cancer rates. Their cells produce extremely high molecular weight hyaluronan, which appears to prevent tumors. They can survive 18 minutes without oxygen by metabolizing fructose instead of glucose, a trait previously thought impossible in mammals. They feel almost no pain due to lacking substance P, a neurotransmitter involved in pain signaling. They live in underground colonies like social insects, with a queen that suppresses reproduction in other females. They're cold-blooded, technically heterothermic, the only mammal that doesn't regulate its body temperature. They eat their own feces to extract every possible nutrient. They're basically immortal, ugly, tunnel-dwelling Martians that evolved on Earth. Medical researchers are obsessed with them because understanding their biology could unlock human aging and cancer treatments. Nature's nightmare rodents that refuse to follow mammal rules. Number 18. Dolphins use electroreception to hunt. Bottlenose dolphins have electroreceptors in their rostrum snout that detect electric fields as weak as 5 microvolts per centimeter. This allows them to find fish buried in sand by detecting their bioelectric fields. The saltwater environment conducts electricity well enough for this sense to be practical. They lost this ability evolutionarily, but re-evolved it independently, convergent evolution with sharks. They combine this with echolocation biological sonar to create a multimodal sensory system that essentially gives them X-ray vision underwater. They're also incredibly intelligent, using tools, teaching learned behaviors, recognizing themselves in mirrors, and even creating signature whistles names for individuals. They've been observed using marine sponges as protective gloves while foraging on the seafloor. Dolphins are basically underwater geniuses with built-in electrical and acoustic superpowers. Smart enough to be scary, equipped enough to dominate their environment. Number 19. Salmon navigate thousands of miles back to birthplace. Salmon are born in freshwater streams, migrate thousands of miles to the ocean, spend years at sea, then return to the exact stream where they were born to spawn. They navigate using multiple methods, detecting Earth's magnetic field magnetoreception, following ocean currents using celestial cues, and finally recognizing the chemical signature of their natal stream. Their sense of smell is so acute they can detect their home stream's unique chemical composition from miles away. They swim upstream against powerful currents, sometimes leaping up waterfalls. After spawning, most salmon die semilporous reproduction. Their bodies provide nutrients to the stream ecosystem, feeding the next generation. It's a one-way suicide mission programmed by biology. They navigate using Earth's electromagnetic field like biological GPS, guided home by chemistry and determination. Evolution's most determined navigation system. Built-in homing instinct that spans thousands of miles and years of time. Number 20. Bats echolocate with unimaginable precision. Bats emit ultrasonic calls, 2200 kHz, beyond human hearing, and interpret returning echoes to build mental maps of their environment. They can detect objects less than a millimeter wide, determine texture and material composition, and track flying insects at high speed in total darkness. They process information fast enough to adjust flight in real time based on echo data. Some species can detect insects walking on leaves from several feet away. They can distinguish between different insect species by wing beat frequency and shape. Their brains have specialized regions for processing echo data, essentially seeing with sound. They're the only mammals capable of powered flight, and their echolocation is so advanced that early sonar technology tried and failed to match their sophistication. They're flying, blind navigating, insect tracking acoustic wizards. Evolution designed biological sonar millions of years before humans invented radar. Aerial hunters using sound waves to build 3D maps in real time. Number 21. Giraffes have blood pressure control superpowers. Giraffes have systolic blood pressure around 280 mmHg. Humans average 120, needed to pump blood up their 6-foot necks to their brains. But when they lower their heads to drink, that pressure could cause brain hemorrhages. They have specialized valves in their neck arteries that regulate pressure, elastic blood vessels that expand and contract, and a tight skin around their legs that acts like compression stockings to prevent blood pooling. Their hearts weigh 25 pounds and pump hard enough to generate pressures that would kill other animals. When they lift their heads quickly, pressure-sensing organs, baroreceptors, trigger immediate adjustments preventing fainting. They're basically walking fluid dynamics puzzles that evolution solved. Standing up too fast might kill a human, but giraffes do it constantly with no issues. biological engineering that manages extreme pressure differentials through elegant anatomical solutions. They're hypertensive by necessity and have built-in blood pressure regulation that would make cardiologists jealous. Number 22. Sperm whales dive 7,000 feet holding their breath. Sperm whales dive over 7,000 feet deep. Some estimates suggest 10,000 plus feet, withstanding pressures that would crush submarines. They hold their breath for 90 minutes, have collapsible lungs that prevent nitrogen narcosis, and can slow their heart rate to 10 beats per minute to conserve oxygen. Their bodies store oxygen primarily in myoglobin in muscles, not in lungs. They hunt giant squid in complete darkness using echolocation so powerful it can stun prey. Their clicks reach 230 decibels, the loudest sound produced by any animal, capable of vibrating a human body to death at close range. They have the largest brain of any animal, 17 pounds, with highly developed social structures and communication. They're essentially biological submarines with sonar weapons, operating at depths where light doesn't exist. Evolution designed them to dominate the deep ocean, deep-diving acoustic hunters that can literally vibrate you to death with sound. Pressure resistance meets extreme breath holding meets sonic weaponry. Number 23. Ants lift 50 times their body weight. Leafcutter ants can carry pieces of leaves 50 times their body weight. Their muscle fibers are arranged at angles that maximize force production. Their exoskeletons provide leverage advantages, and their compound body structure distributes force efficiently. They don't have blood vessels restricting muscle development like vertebrates do. Relative to their size, they're among the strongest creatures on Earth. Some ant species can lift up to 100 times their body weight. They use this strength to construct elaborate underground colonies, with chambers for farming fungus, nurseries, and waste management. Army ants can link together to form living bridges, rafts, and even ladders using their bodies. They've been called superorganisms because colonies function like single entities with specialized castes. They're tiny biological forklifts with proportional strength that makes human weightlifters look pathetic. Engineering advantages of being small plus optimized muscle structure equals ridiculous lifting capacity. They make humans look weak. Number 24. Cleaner wrasse fish recognize themselves in mirrors. Cleaner wrasse fish were recently shown to recognize themselves in mirrors, a test previously passed only by great apes, elephants, dolphins, and magpies. When marked with a colored spot they couldn't normally see, they attempted to remove it after seeing themselves in a mirror, suggesting they understood the reflection was themselves. This challenges assumptions that self-awareness requires large brains or mammalian brain structures. These small fish operate cleaning stations, where larger fish visit to have parasites removed. They remember individual clients, adjust their service based on customer satisfaction, and even cheat strategically when they can get away with it. They make decisions based on future consequences and reputation management. They're basically running underwater businesses with customer service protocols. Self-aware fish with theory of mind, strategic thinking, and mirror recognition. Cognitive abilities showing up in species we assumed were too simple. Fish are smarter than we thought, and that's uncomfortable. Number 25. Cheetahs sprint at 70 mph. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals, reaching 70 mph in short bursts. They accelerate from 0-60 mph in 3 seconds, faster than most sports cars. Their bodies are entirely optimized for speed. Semi-retractable claws for traction, enlarged nostrils and lungs for oxygen intake, oversized liver and adrenal glands for quick energy, and a long tail for balance during high-speed turns. Their spine is incredibly flexible, acting like a spring that extends their stride length to over 20 feet. They can turn midair during pursuit. However, this specialization has trade-offs. They overheat quickly, hunts last less than a minute. They're relatively weak, often losing kills to larger predators, and they're near extinction due to low genetic diversity. They're evolutionary sprinters pushed to the absolute limit of mammalian speed. After a chase, Their body temperature rises so high they need 30 minutes to recover or risk organ damage. Speed specialists operating at the edge of biological possibility. Land-based rockets that burn out fast. Number 26. Basilisk lizards run on water. Basilisk lizards can run on water for 15 feet before sinking. They move so fast, 5 feet per second, that their foot slaps create air pockets, and they pull their feet up before breaking the water's surface tension. It requires running at high speed with specific leg movements and large surface area feet. They're often called Jesus Christ lizards for this ability. It's not hovering or floating. It's generating enough force to create temporary support from water resistance and surface tension. Once they slow down or stop, they sink and have to swim. They use this ability to escape predators. It only works because they're small and light. Larger animals can't generate enough speed or force relative to their weight. Physics and biology combining to create something that looks like magic. They're exploiting fluid dynamics and surface tension through pure speed and technique. Running on water is scientifically possible if you're fast, light, and have the right foot design. Tiny dinosaur descendants that learn to sprint across lakes. Number 27. Owls fly silently. Owls can fly almost completely silently due to 3 special adaptations. Serrated edges on flight feathers break up air turbulence, soft fringes on feathers absorb sound, and downy surfaces dampen noise. This allows them to approach prey without being heard. Combined with incredible night vision, 100x better than humans in low light, asymmetric ear placement for precise sound localization, and necks that rotate 270 degrees, they're perfect nocturnal hunters. They can hear a mouse moving under a foot of snow. Their eyes are so large they can't move in their sockets, which is why they rotate their heads so dramatically. Some species can hunt in complete darkness using only sound. They've evolved multiple redundant predator systems. Silent flight, exceptional vision, perfect hearing, mobile neck. They're killing machines optimized for darkness. Aerial assassins that you'll never hear coming. Evolution stealth aircraft. Number 28. Electric catfish generate 350 volts. Electric catfish can generate up to 350 volts, enough to stun humans and kill smaller animals. Unlike electric eels, which are knife fish, catfish are true fish that evolved electrogenesis independently. They use electricity for navigation, communication, and hunting in murky African rivers. Their electric organs are modified muscle tissue that can discharge rapidly. They can control intensity and duration of shocks. They're basically freshwater living batteries that weaponized bioelectricity. Multiple species evolved electric organs independently: electric eels, electric rays, electric catfish. Convergent evolution proving that weaponizing electricity is a winning strategy if you're aquatic. They're less powerful than electric eels, but still capable of delivering painful, incapacitating shocks. Evolution keeps reinventing biological tasers because it works. Freshwater African rivers contain shocking nightmares that can zap you unconscious. Independent evolution of living stun guns. Number 29. Chameleons have independently moving eyes. Chameleons can move each eye independently, allowing them to look in 2 directions at once with nearly 360 degrees vision. Each eye can rotate independently and focus on different objects. When hunting, they can track prey with one eye while watching for predators with the other. Once they target prey, both eyes focus forward for depth perception. They combine this with a tongue that extends 1.52 times their body length and accelerates at 41 g-forces, faster than a jet fighter. The tongue has a muscular, sticky pad that snares insects in 0.07 seconds. Their color-changing ability isn't just camouflage, it's communication, temperature regulation, and mood expression. They change color by manipulating nanocrystal layers in their skin through neural control. They're precision hunters with independent eye control, projectile tongues, and active camouflage. Biological missile systems with targeting computers for eyeballs. Tiny dinosaurs that kept the best features. Number 30. Elephants communicate through infrasound. Elephants produce infrasound, sound waves below 20 Hz below human hearing range, that can travel through the ground for miles. They can communicate with other elephants up to 6 miles away. They detect these low-frequency vibrations through their feet and likely through their trunks. This allows coordination across herds spread over large distances. They use it to warn of danger, locate water, and maintain social bonds. Their vocalizations have syntax and grammar. They're essentially having conversations. They recognize themselves in mirrors, show empathy, mourn their dead, and have been observed helping other species. They use tools, remember migration routes decades later, and pass knowledge between generations. They're intelligent enough to understand death and loss. Combined with infrasonic communication, they have a social network humans can't eavesdrop on. Megafauna with secret communication channels and emotional depth that rivals humans. They're talking constantly. We just can't hear most of it. Number 31. Bees see ultraviolet light and electric fields. Bees see ultraviolet light, revealing patterns on flowers invisible to human eyes. Many flowers have UV nectar guides, markings that point toward pollen and nectar like runway lights. This gives bees information we completely miss. But they also detect electric fields. Flowers have slight negative charges. Bees flying generate positive charges. When bees approach flowers, they can sense the electrical field difference, which tells them if a flower has recently been visited, the field changes. This electrical sense helps them forage more efficiently. They also use it to communicate during waggle dances. They're detecting information channels humans don't even have sensors for. Combined with their mathematical abilities, understanding zero, counting, basic arithmetic, navigation using polarized light and sun position, and social organization, bees operate in a sensory world far richer than ours. They're seeing and sensing dimensions of reality we're blind to. Insects with senses we lack and mathematical reasoning that shouldn't fit in brains that small. Tiny geniuses seeing the invisible. And there you have it, 31 animal superpowers that make comic books look unimaginative. From tardigrades surviving nuclear apocalypse to jellyfish reversing aging, from shrimp punching with bullet force to fish running on water, evolution's been handing out abilities that Hollywood couldn't sell without CGI. These aren't myths or exaggerations. They're documented biology happening right now, all around us. We share the planet with creatures that freeze solid and resurrect, generate electricity, see colors we can't imagine, and communicate through dimensions we can't perceive. The real superheroes don't wear capes. They wear fur, scales, feathers, and sometimes just slime. Which animal superpower shocked you the most? What ability would you want if you could steal one? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this tour through evolution's greatest hits made you realize nature doesn't need special effects to be absolutely insane, smash that like button and subscribe for more science that proves reality is stranger than fiction. Stay curious, because the universe is weirder than we're capable of imagining, and animals prove it every day.